Yep, hello there. This is Daniel Eric, or Williver, or Guillermo Gage. And now I am making a video journal. This covers the 12 days. And the point about this video journal series is the hope is that if I keep doing this, I'll get motivated to make something more interesting. This video journal series, it covers today is the 4th of July. It's the 250th anniversary of the 4th of July. Yep. And so let's see if I can aim the camera. July 4th at 1:31 p.m. Yeah, so this video journal is going to cover some stuff that I did from June 22nd all the way to July 3rd. I would have liked to have made the video journal on Wednesday the 1st after getting home from work, and then that would have covered the 22nd to the 30th. First wasn't over yet, so I wasn't going to cover that. That would have been 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. That would have been 9 days, but then I ended up doing an extra shift at my second job, and then there was like no time. I get off at like 11:30, and I get home, and then by then, I would have just done the whole for the first of the month of July, and then second and third happened. So here's what I've done. First, let's talk about plastic usage. So I've been tracking how much plastic I've been buying from just food containers and whatnot. This is for the first. This right here, throughout the entire 30 days of June. This right here, I've done this in a couple of previous videos. This is what there's been for the first 10 days. That's the 1st through the 10th. This right here is through the 11th through the 20th. Let's see. And then this bag feels a little lighter. This one is from the 21st to the 30th. So 21st, 22nd, 23rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 6th, the 7th, 8th, 29th, and 30th. So this feels a little bit lighter. I think there's a bit less. But there were some times there I had some weaknesses, like the final couple days had some weaknesses. But this right here, yeah, that's my plastic usage. So how do we break down? When did I buy the cookies? The Pepperidge Farm cookies. Maybe that was on the Sunday or the Monday, yeah. Oh wait, what day was that? Maybe Monday the 22nd. That must have been Monday the 22nd. About the Pepperidge Farm cookies. And so this pile is a little less big than this pile. Well, it's lighter. There's a bit less to it. I don't know. It seems like pretty close to the same amount. But oh, puppy, I know, pretty boy. Oh, some lucky puppy. Let's see. So, yeah, that's overall what I got. Just various stuff. Some of it was at work. Some of it was, getting at the grocery shopping. And I'm trying to avoid. Overall, that's what the usage is. It's pretty much the same. For the first 10 days in July, I want to do better, though. And I've hardly gotten anything in July. Let me put it this way. Do I have... No, I thought I had something. Okay. Well, anyway, I'm going to try to move on. Oh, there we go. This is the one for July, which is not great because I ended up getting one of those. It's kind of like a King Crumb. It's like a little ripoff of Crumble cookies or something. And they're really enticing. They actually was very tasty. It was at the grocery store. And the flavors there, they really lived up to it. And so that's this big container. But other than that, that was on the 1st. And then, this is from a ham and cheese pocket, and then there's another jelly swirl honey bun at my other workplace. But hopefully for the next, well, that was for the first 2 days. So hopefully for the next 8 days I have hardly anything, because I want this one to be very much decreased. Okay, so basically that's my plastic usage. I'm not gonna bother to like narrow down what days exactly. Some days I did, some days I didn't. The previous video was like 45 minutes long. This is kind of a personal test to see how good I can get at making videos or something and summing up my thoughts properly. But yeah, oh, but here's the thing. Actually, I should have just done the good news. Oh, hi, puppy. Yes. Let's see. Oh yeah, I'm going to show 3 minutes worth of gardening video footage of what I did on the 28th. Because I just want to show off that. Okay, here's because I finally planted stuff. Okay, here's the 3 minutes. Hello there. I'm gonna have the camera face towards me. I don't know how that looks, but yeah, this is Daniel Eric, or Williver, or Guillermo Gage, and indeed, right now, over here, several minutes ago, I've planted some stuff. And so June 28th of 2026, that's not so great, at 8:04 p.m. I ended up planting some seeds. Along this area is supposed to be some carrots. There's a mix of green beans and cucumbers. I think it's a good idea to maybe have some of them kind of spaced around, so they can kind of help each other grow, climb on top of each other, but also climb on top of here. Tomatoes and like 1 or 2 green bean seeds here, mostly tomatoes here. Some more carrots alongside the sides of there. So it's always covered in shadow where I've stopped plucking the weeds. Maybe I'll pluck some of the weeds anyway, but that tends to be covered entirely in shadow. It's not just this balcony thingy up here, but it's like this awning thing. No, not awning, roof that sticks out. Tends to cover that up. But eventually it'll sprout. But I tried mixing in some fertilizer into the soil, and I watered it down, so hopefully something will grow up. It might take a couple of weeks to see anything sprouting, but what I'll have to diligently go over and pluck out weeds. Because if you let the weeds grow too tall, if you try to rip out, you'll rip out the other stuff. You rip up the food plants with them. Some of these, okay, that's just that. For example, that wasn't connected to anything. These weeds, this is from like strawberry plants, wild strawberries, pretty much. I'm trying to get it a little better, but I tilled up the earth a whole bunch earlier today, and so yeah, there's I want to pluck out all this stuff, get the junk and plasticky stuff out as well, and use this space as well to have more space to plant more things. So that's what I've got so far. So yeah, that's the end of this video clip. Oh, actually, I'll just show you. This is the product right here. Okay. Some market more cucumbers. Some of these tomatoes, night gardener. 67 days to harvest. This might take a while. I've never done these before. 55 days to harvest with the little seeds. Tried doing my best that I could on there. And so several of these ended up getting planted around. And several of these got planted as well. So yeah. It's helping it up by sprinkling a bit of this fertilizer, kind of like mixing it in and tilling it in with the seeds. All right then. So yeah, I've been doing these video journals for over a year now, and typically they're like between like 5 and 10 days apart. This is one of those times where it's 12 days apart, and each day is talked about and covered to some degree. And today is 4th of July, and I want to. We're in the second half of the year now. I want this second half to be much better than the first half of 2026. Of course, first 7 months of 2025 were also covered in these video journals. I took Lucky out this puppy earlier today. He was out for a while. It was like a solid 30 minutes or something earlier today. After I'm done with this video journal, maybe I'll have him out again. Let's see, and what do I want to do? Oh, okay. So basically, for these past 12 days, the 22nd through the 27th, they were not great. For one thing, I got Lyft and Uber rides to my workplace, and this was after fixing up the scooter. This scooter, to be particular, there you go. That one, I like that. That I used to go to work. I have like a 6 mile commute, but I took a Lyft and Uber rides, even though I had that. It was working, and it's working now. 2 of those days were legit weather excuses. There was some rain. Maybe kind of checking out. Maybe I could have handled some of the light. One of them was kind of lighter. I probably could have handled it with a basic raincoat or something. 2 out of them, of the 4 times that I paid, it's like at least 10 to 13 bucks. Sometimes it's like 30 bucks round trip for getting the rides to work. 2 of them were not really solid excuses. I was running late to work or something, and I wasn't going to make it. And the ride gets me there quicker than going on my scooter, which is slower. And so the 2 of those weren't so great. So look at this. Monday the 22nd, the early hours of Monday the 22nd. And this is going all the way till July 3rd. Early hours of that were not great. I stayed up until like 4 a.m. I'm reading some notes, trying to locate a post with online with a specific photo of Michael Jackson that I saw a day or 2 before. This was probably from the subreddit on Reddit that, of course, I'm banned from Reddit, so I probably shouldn't even be bothering to browse because I'm not banned from any specific subreddit, just entirety of Reddit, which I'm not sorry for. But the people there, the people on this subreddit didn't ban me. It was someone else. It's a subreddit specifically for the Michael Jackson movie that just came out. And I saw this photo. I eventually found it. I stayed up till like 4 a.m. just browsing all around. This one. Okay. Here's the reason why. I think that he looks more, he looks black in this photo, basically. And it's one of those things where people say, not only did his skin, go pale, but the facial features, they say that, you through all the plastic surgery, you couldn't see it. Now, there's like Black people with vitiligo who have gone completely pale, they still have the African-y black features. This right here, I think it's the chin and the lips and the eyebrows in particularly. I don't know. I think he just kind of looks black. Kind of looks like James Carville or something. And I think this photo is from like 05 or something. I just find this to be an amusing photo. I finally figured it out. I just typed up on, I think the post may have got the exact post or may have got deleted, or the exact comment that someone did from some days before may have got deleted. So I just looked up Michael Jackson pointing out a car window, and I was like, okay, I should have done that. Anyway, I think that photo is funny. And the reason why I was even on the looking up stuff about Michael Jackson is I want the movie to make $1 billion. It's getting closer there. Inching closer there. It's going to do it because Japan only made $24 million so far. It got released June 12th in Japan. Everywhere else, it got released April 22nd to 24th. It's going to make another $22 million at least in Japan because, it's going to make at least like 50-something million dollars out of the 24 million that's made so far, based on like other similar movies that have made way more, and that the Michael Jackson biopic movie would be way bigger in Japan. So it's gonna make it. I just want to see it get there. Let's probably take another couple weeks. $1 billion. It's already the highest grossing biopic of all time, music biopic or biopic in general. Okay. But on Monday the 22nd, because of me stupidly, when I see something interesting, I have to actually save it. Not on the internet. Save it. Bookmark it. save it offline, or else I'm going to be like, oh, what was that thing I saw? Then I have to go back to old posts and old web pages, and think, where was that thing that I saw? And go into my internet history, or just go into recent posts from whatever I was at, and it's not great because I get distracted by so many other things. So anyway, that day I slept from like 6 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Okay, I found that photo 12:11 p.m. That's when I finally found it. That's why I actually saved that photo, and it's literally called "I think Michael Jackson looks black in this photo." Yeah, okay. Um, so anyway, on Monday, that was one of the days that I was working my second job. Did a 5 to 11:30 or so p.m. shift. Which had lucky out, probably for a bit that day, because it was my afternoon shift for the second job, afternoon and evening. Tuesday, June 23rd. Apparently, I was only on the smartphone web browser for only 46 minutes, which I guess that's kind of surprising. I don't. The 23rd to the 27th is probably just arguing on Twitter and negative video game discourse, which is odd because I don't play video games. I'm just fascinated with like wanting to be in the know, and that's what I want to fix up in my life. Is only look up stuff online that like matters to me, that's really meaningful to me personally. Um, Not various like drama about fandoms and shit that I'm not even in. Um, like I'm into Michael Jackson, but I'm talking about like video game stuff, like video game controversies and whatnot. But okay, so Wednesday the 24th, on June 23rd, I was only 46 minutes on the smartphone browser, but maybe I was more on the laptop browser. Wednesday, June 24th, 4 hours and 52 minutes. This was being on I believe that looking up stuff on a smartphone when you're probably sitting at home is dumb and it's undisciplined, and you should be at the laptop PC. Also, you can track, also the web browser, Brave, it tracks by the minute what web pages you're on, or a timestamp of when you opened up that web page. For the mobile version on Android, it doesn't show what time you opened that page. I don't think it does. Yeah. But I couldn't see it on this version of the web browser. That's why I don't like being on there. Plus, it's the Wi-Fi. The Wi-Fi means you have like less self control because you can just walk around the house, and it's just less disciplined. So Wednesday was 4 hours 52 minutes. Thursday, was the 25th. So I just worked all these days. This is typically like from 10 to 5:30, between 10 and 11, then to 5:30. 6 hours and 35 minutes. Some of that was trying to figure out the appeal of iShowSpeed and trying to go through his history and figure out when exactly did he get big and get famous. That Dylan Watkins Jr. guy who literally just turned 21 years old this January. And like when he was like 16 years old, he was starting to get kind of like have like a million streamer people, and he was kind of a meme person. But then all of a sudden, like sometime between like 18 and 19 years old, he started like getting disposable income from his streams to like travel the world, and then like boom, like between like 18 and 19 years old, like he suddenly like really blew up as this huge streamer person. And I was trying to understand like when and where that happened, and I think it's really like okay, if he was born in January 2005, then he turned 17 in January 2022, 18 in January 2023. Yeah, throughout like 2023 and into 2024, when he started like traveling different places around the world, and his following just got up into just a million to like many millions. He started like doing stuff other than just the video game stuff. He did like sports kind of tourism related stuff. So I think that's what it was. All right then. And 7 hours and 33 minutes on the smartphone on Friday the 26th. This is a shorter shift day. Apparently, I only slept from 5:59 to 8:46 a.m. or so. It was some more video game discourse stuff. Took Lucky out, napped some more. Yep. Saturday the 27th. Apparently, only 20 minutes on the smartphone. on those longer days, yeah, it may have been some Twitter arguing. And finally, but then on June 28th, from right when it became June 28th to 6:28 a.m., I slept. I also slept 9:57 to 11:59 the night before. So yeah, I got plenty of sleep on June 28th. From 8:13 to 9:56 a.m., I had only been up for 1 to 2 minute sections at 9:16, 9:32, 9:33, and 9:57 a.m. as indicated by the smartphone app usage history. I may have just like had the phone on my bed and bumped it in my sleep or something, or no, maybe it was on the ground. I woke up in the minute to check the time. Like maybe I couldn't see my wristwatch or something. But I slept a lot on June 28th. But I still woke up early. So 8.5 hours straight of sleep plus 1 hour and 43 minutes winding down. Okay. 6:28 to 7:24. This is on June 28th. Calculating money with 7:08 to 7:16 phone call from my mom. 7 minutes on Brave browser, or just for checking IRS see if a payment went through. 2.5 minutes on Snapchat, or to get rid of some slop suggested notification content. Yeah, for some reason I have Snapchat installed, and they keep recommending, check this out, watch this, you might be interested. No, I'm not interested, and it's just garbage. It's stupid, degenerate slop. So I think that if you actually say, nope, not interested, I gotta like actually have the discipline to actually go into the menu and say, not interested. And so that's decreased it since then. 7:30 is a brush teeth. I mean, want to do a better job of that overall. So I have that. This is specifically what I was doing at 7:30. So I did it right real early in the morning. I didn't wait like a few hours, didn't eat first. You gotta brush teeth first, then wait a while, then eat. Because you have a shield up there. You put the shield up. 7:39 to 8 a.m. I did a shower, cold shower from what I recall, and I got dressed. Refilled Lucky's food and water. I mean, I do that in general. 8:26 to 9:09. 8:26 to 9:01. Lucky out. He pooped 2 times quick within a few minutes. Then another more than 10 minutes later. I think the reason why I'm mentioning all this is that on that day I was pretty proud of myself for doing all this stuff early in the day. Calculator. Got rid of 3 houseflies. I think I left the door open too long. So I got rid of 3 of those. Just kind of was able to shoo them outside, or was able to splat them when they were hitting a wall or something. 9:20. I gathered up the June 22nd to June 27th plastics I didn't have in that bag. That 5 days at the time. And 9:39 a.m. So June 28th was Sunday. Okay, yeah. So Sunday. I actually Sunday and Monday, the 28th and 29th, I wasn't scheduled at all for my other job. So and didn't do that. However, that morning, I ripped 9:39 a.m. to 10:02 a.m. on Sunday, June 28th. I whipped up weeds and I tilled the earth a lot. That's what that video is from. I ripped a lot of those, a lot of weeds. From 10:02 to 10:05 or so indoors, I got back and put some shorts on instead of long pants. From 10:06 to 11:18 a.m. on Sunday, the 20th, finally, when I planted stuff, I bought the seeds like a week before or something. I tilled more earth. I ended up getting a sunburn that lasted like 4 days. I don't think I'm any pink. No. Okay, yeah, this was a good shade pink. Yeah, this was like rather pinkish, but now it's done over with. I had a shirt off and I went back, and so I think after like 4 days that went away. For like it was mostly gone to like July 2nd, but like by the evening of July 2nd it was mostly gone, and then it was definitely gone during like July 3rd yesterday. So yeah, I ended up buying sunscreen the next day because I knew I was going to be outside of work at my main job for like a little hour during the sunnier parts of the day. And so, yeah, Tiltmore washed my hands thoroughly from 11:18 to 11:57. I washed my hands, did another shower, calculating and texting. Maybe I was calculating just living expenses that I'm going to have to deal with the next week. I signed 11:56 a.m. This was on the 28th. I signed into Fandango movie theater website, and I checked the box office. This lasted until 12:16 p.m. I think I was considering seeing the Michael Jackson movie one more time. I'd help it get to $1 billion. I actually did that on the 29th though. But on the remainder of the 28th, I from 12:32 to 1:18, I was browsing the past month of internet history on my smartphone. Okay, so when I procrastinate a lot, and I wonder what have I been doing for the past day, past week, past month, I will go into my internet history and see what have I browsed, and then I will X out because I believe it saves space. I don't want to just clear up my whole history without looking through it. That way, if I remember something, I can go back and go into the search bar for the history. But I'll individually X out excess stuff, especially if it's the little entry doesn't say much. It's like Google Maps, and it's just a long stream of stuff. For each time you zoomed in a little bit, it's a new page on the browsing history page. You can X out that you X that out. 11:18 to 2:08. It says I napped and yawned. Yeah, sometimes in the middle of the day I will get sleepy and tired, especially if I'm not working that day. Probably I could decrease that by having a better health habits, a better relationship with sunshine, better relationship with grounding on the earth, and probably a better relationship with sugar, like decreasing it a lot. But 2:08 to 25 got rid of more houseflies. Lucky out to the patio. I had been taking them out as well, but I also let them on the patio. As of 2:29 p.m. on the 28th, that's the broccoli nibbling and a sip of milk is all I had eaten. So I don't know. I eventually ate more food that day. So yeah, it's probably just more procrastinating crap. 10:30s to 11 p.m. I got paper towels, dish gloves, soap, and these they're command strips, but they're made out of kind of a Velcro-y material. They're actually supposed to be command strips, but you see that my wristwatch have been kind of falling apart. So I bought several of these, and it took a couple of tries to get to work, but I got them. I ended up using like a duct tape, extra duct tape for it and such. So I have several more of them. So I have like more of them that I can actually use to like hang stuff up on the wall, because that's what it's officially supposed to be for. So these type of things. But what I was saying is that I went to the store because I needed to get some. I needed water. I needed just various stuff. Got paper towels, dish gloves, soap, Velcro. This was from when the store was like 30 minutes from closing, like 15 minutes from closing. I ran up to the store and got this stuff. Well, I went up on the scooter. This is on Sunday. And then I saw just like what it was like when they don't schedule me, and so yeah, it was pretty messy out there. The store was not in good shape. But then they didn't schedule me. So I got paper towels, dish gloves, dish soap, that command strips. There's kind of like a Velcro material, picture hanging strips. It's really great for the wristwatch. Now my wristwatch isn't falling off anymore. And I got these, and I ended up getting a soft, unique Little Debbie flavor. I ended up giving into it. It was the Boston cream pie ones. Actually, those are pretty tasty. That was plastic usage, so not great. Water and then a one little can of tea. It was the Half Day brand of tea. It's called Half Day. It was pretty low sugar. It was only like 3 grams or so, 3 to 5 grams. And then 11:53 and 51 seconds. So here's the last time I did push-ups. 11:53 and 51 seconds. I get home from that store trip. 11:53 and 51 seconds to 11:54 and 29 seconds. I did 4 push-ups. It was like, oh, okay. Then 11:50. You know why it was difficult? Because the sunburn on my back. Because I had the shirt on, and then I had the backpack on, the weighted backpack, but from 11:58 and 39 seconds to 11:59 and 41 seconds, I did 8 AOML 1 more. So AOML means after Old Miss Lucy. That is terminology that I use for the Bring Sally Up push-ups method with the 10-pound backpack. But I should start doing some more because the sunburn is pink. As that's gone away now. It's not just all. That's all just peach color. Let's see. Monday the 29th, also at home, no work. 1:45 p.m. I actually saw the Michael Jackson movie. It got done at 3:48, so I liked it. I quite liked it the third time as well. I just noticed probably a few more things. Things got more details on it. And now I've seen it 3 times. That's good enough for me. I had seen it the first 2 times in April, and I've seen it a third time. It was also about to. It was like the last day it was going to be in that movie theater, like the second to last day or something. And now it's like nowhere near me anymore. Um, and so, hey, I've done my work. It's going to get to $1 billion. It's going to get to $1 billion anyway because of Japan, not because of the U.S. It's only going to make like maybe $1 million more for the next like week or so before it's like pulled from all movie theaters. But yeah, it got up to $370 million domestic. So that's pretty great. So I stopped for gas, burrito, pizza, and taquitos on the way back at a gas station. Zero plastic usage for all that stuff, all that junky food, because it was just stuff that was fresh off the grill, pretty much. The burrito was like a paper wrapper. At 5 p.m., I got home shortly after that. It was that real very papery paper. It wasn't like the paper like there was like the plasticky paper. It's the very papery paper. Phone calls regarding phone calls regarding just some family stuff until like 6 p.m. Someone needed help navigating an app for like paying a car payment. And so Tuesday the 30th and Wednesday the 1st and 2nd, I went to work on the scooter. So I was not lazy on those days. I got up and work in time, so I wouldn't have to call up a ride. I went on the scooter, because the scooter goes more slowly because you can't take it on the highway. So the route's a bit longer than calling up a ride. Tuesday the 30th at 9:20 a.m. So Tuesday the 30th, Wednesday the 1st, Thursday the 2nd. I was working those days like 10 to like 5:30. Oh, yeah. 10 to 5:30. But before going to work on Tuesday the 30th, I got 3 apples, 6 bananas, and sunscreen. That's the sunscreen I was talking about. Continued en route to workplace, 10 a.m. clock in, 6 to 8 p.m. after work. I bought one of those cheesecake slices. I was like, you know what? It's the 30th. I'm going to have this, and then it's going to try to reduce my plastic usage after that. And got more milk. Texted and called family members about movie trailer I saw a week before. So a week before, I saw the movie trailer for Clara and the Sun, a book adaptation. And it made me think about the family member that recommended the book to me like 4 years ago. And I was done doing all that texting and phone call stuff at 7:29 p.m. I got home at 6:08 p.m. I took a lucky out, and then for like 30 plus minutes I was looking at that and sending text messages on the phone. Okay, Wednesday the 1st, 9:20 a. I noticed just before I had to leave for work on Wednesday the 1st that my other job scheduled me at 2 p.m. to 11 p.m. shift. It's like I don't get off until 5:30 p.m. And so I had to request like, nope, I cannot do this shift. I couldn't even list the reason like, oh, I'm at my other job, so I had to list other. But what I did is on the way back, I actually stopped in and went to add some cash that I had to put it on my card because I had a bunch of cash, but I didn't have quite enough money to pay rent. But I had on my card, so I had to go and like put $100 on my card, and then I could pay my rent. Then I could go online and pay my rent because the transfer is like only in a few minutes. I was like I had a few dollars short or something, so I had to I was like $100 short, so I had to add like $100 on my card with cash that I already had on me. So altogether, I had enough money. But when I was there, one of the manager guys saw me, and I was like, "Hey, are you scheduled to work?" And I said, "I can't. I don't know why it's telling me to do that on Wednesday." Well, he said, "Well, okay, we don't mind. We understand. That may have been a mistake, but can you come in?" And just for the rest of the day, I said, "I can." It was 6:10 when he like asked me that. I said, maybe like 7 p.m. or something because I got to take my doggy out and whatnot. And so from 6:26 p.m. I left. I bought a ham and cheese pocket sandwich. It was the kind that you have to heat up. And that was when the transaction took place, 6:26 p.m. 6:31 p.m. I was home. 6:31 to 7:10, I took Lucky out, ate the ham and cheese. It wasn't Hot Pocket, it was Market Side brand from Walmart. And then 7:16 was when I clocked in at the job. So to 11:20. So it was a 4-hour shift. I did that extra shift. I mean, I earned like $45 or something doing it. And so yeah, Wednesday the first, that was the day I wanted to report on like 9 days worth of stuff, but I couldn't because I was busy. You know, I took like I was only home for like 39 minutes. But it was worthwhile. You know, it's like to be on the good side and whatnot, even though the shift wasn't supposed to be scheduled at that time. Thursday the 2nd, 8:52 to 9:22 a.m. when I got up. I think I fell asleep pretty soon after on Wednesday the 1st. 8:50, but Thursday the 2nd when I got up, from 8:52 to 9:22. Just shortly after I got up and took a lucky out. Michael Jackson box office and a few random Polygon articles. Apparently that was in my internet history from the laptop. Did the 11:20 to 5:30 p.m. shift away from, so I was away from home from like 10:38 to 6:15 p.m. or so when you're counting the commute. Lucky out before and after work as usual. So I was not on the laptop at all after getting home. I may have been on the smartphone browser. Between 11:23 and 11:59, I was not online at all. Not on the smartphone or on the laptop PC. I may have taken lucky out again during that time. But here's the thing. Friday. So I have Friday, July 3rd, and Saturday, July 4th off, both my jobs. So July 3rd, Friday, finally. July 3rd from 7 minutes after midnight to 3:59 a.m. on the smartphone for multiple hours. Maybe it was me looking up videos and people talking about PlayStation is getting rid of digital games in January of 2028. But I was also looking at videos appreciating the Game Boy Advance. I cannot tell where my 0007 to 0359 web pages end. So it's just after midnight to 3:59 a.m. Where they end and where they begin for the 9 a.m. ones to the rest of July 3rd, due to there being no timestamps on the smartphone. So this is why I don't want to be on the smartphone so much. Apparently the subject matter just kind of all runs together. I think it was kind of when I was starting to look up system requirements for like if I were to hypothetically have a PC, is when it kind of started. From 3:59 a.m. to 8:45 a.m. I slept. Lucky out. Shortly after that, may have done a 30-minute stretch of lucky out in the morning with a free day Friday. Cleaned up around the house. And basically all that remained was I fretted about hypotheticals about good use of money and bang for my buck if I were to hypothetically buy a gaming PC, even though I am not into video games all that much. So here's the thing about that. I think about stuff like, is it relevant to me? Because it could hypothetically be relevant to me. And the conclusion I ended up coming to is like, I'm just going to look all this stuff up. I looked up various negative gaming videos discourse. Just trying to like convince myself of like what I even believe about the discourse about video games and are they a worthwhile hobby. Lucky out shortly, like 2 p.m. I took him out again for a short period of time. Then I ended up getting paid. Lucky Zona came over and I ate some of the food she brought over to me. I ended up staying up all the way. Well, I end up plucking some weeds out. You know, it's just picking off some of the tiny weeds that are starting to grow so they don't get in the way of the stuff that's growing. I figured that actually, I think the seeds, no, the something sprouted. I'm going to show that right now. What has sprouted out is the cucumbers. Yeah. This doesn't look like any weed I've seen. And I remember from previous years. I'm going to swap out the video. Okay, I believe these are the cucumber seeds. There we go, another one. And another one. Pluck out a few of these weeds before they get too gangly. Okay. Yep, so the cucumber seeds are starting to grow. I watered them earlier this morning. I'm going to water them again. All right, then, back to the video. This is July 3rd. It's about to end me talking about it. So basically, I I'm one of those people who's like, what's the deal with video gaming? And it's, for example, diminishing returns for the game consoles. The graphics for the game consoles, they're just a typical like box that you plug in, like the Xbox to Xbox 360 to Xbox One to Xbox Series X, and then PS1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Diminishing returns. They're less special every time, and all this stuff about like if you own a console, you're beholden to their ecosystem and of like the game store and whatnot, and it's not so great because like the console companies are kind of like more corporate than like a PC because the PC is sort of like a open source platform and whatnot. And that made me think, okay, well, if you want to buy a PC that's about as powerful as a PS5, how much is it going to cost? Even with all these RAM prices going up, apparently it's like, well, the price of the consoles have gone up, and the price of the components have gone up. One of the things about building a PC is because it's going to cost you more because every component they're selling at a markup, whereas with consoles they're initially selling at a loss because they're going to charge more for games and online service. But I thought, how much more is it like percentage wise? Is it like the price to build a fully functional PC that's as powerful as whatever their latest console is? Is it like 50% more? Is it like double? I determined that I was able to find one that could run like a goofy game that I don't even know if I would enjoy, but it's a game called Stellar Blade. I looked up what the game's graphics would look like if it was running on like chips, GPUs and CPUs that were like the equivalent of what they recommend for like the high settings, not even like the recommended, but the high settings. And then look at what the graphics look like. I watched on YouTube a good quality stream with like I was watching it on a 1080p monitor, but my internet's kind of slow, so I had it load up for 720p 60 FPS video, and it looked like PS5 quality graphics. Like it looked like a step above PS4, and so and this was running on the PC. This was running on the PC. It looked pretty identical to PS5 gameplay I've seen of Stellar Blade. So I looked, compared, and overall, I found one with a processor that's like even more powerful than necessary, but it was for 820. It was like 923, but then 4th of July I checked again and like, oh wait, I could actually swap this. I swap out a better deal for the exact same part. And it's more like 832. $834.27, everything around high official specs. Processor a bit more powerful, so AMD Ryzen 5 5500 CPU, which is more powerful than the R5 3600X. Even without the X, the 5500 is more powerful than the 3600X. That's for Ryzen 5 AMD. So overall, yeah, so like 1080p is like good enough for me, but it says it can do 1440. It's completely solid 60 FPS, like way above. It's over 120 frames. You could get up to that. So overall, it doesn't even get dipped down to like the 40s with all this graphical settings turned all the way up, or almost all the way up, until you get to like 4K resolution. It's like, oh well, I wouldn't even need 4K anyway. So yeah, it turns out that this was a PS5 is $650 now, right? $834.27. That's with all the shipping, and with the shipping like in like just a few days. That's without Amazon Prime. That's just paying the standard price without having Amazon Prime. All the stuff within like 3 to 5 days. And basically 834 versus 650. Well, you do have to pay for you got to find out some way to pay for an operating system. And then controllers, like if you want something other than just the keyboard and mouse that I already have, or if you can't get the Xbox controller like to work, the USB Xbox controller, then you might have to spend a bit more. It might be like 950 something. All thing is said and done, but 650 versus 950. There's would say, yeah, maybe the extra $300 would be worth it to have the open ecosystem. And it actually looks like it would run better than on the PS5. And so I just turned, oh, okay. So yeah, maybe PC gaming like isn't all that much. I don't know what people would even need to spend more than twice the amount. Maybe it's because they're gaming at 4K or they have like multiple monitors or whatever. So it looks like that's doable. The point is that I'm not even all that into gaming anyway. It's just now I'm confident that yes, you can spend under $1,000 and these games will just run. Now, actually, there's a new game called Stellar Blade Blood Rain. It's not new. It's gonna come out in probably a couple of years. Now that one looks more open world. So actually, the PC that I built, I did the PC part picker thing, probably won't run very well. For that, you probably need like a couple hundred more bucks in order for that one to run well. But my belief is like, oh, it's got to be 60 FPS if it's an actiony game. So overall, well, I think I'm not going to fret over that anymore since I got a pretty solid answer. And so, yes, despite all the RAM prices increasing and whatnot, it's increasing for everything, consoles and PC parts and, RAM parts and whatnot. It's mostly the RAM and the storage space. And it was with a terabyte hard drive, SSD, of course. So overall, yeah, as someone who, doesn't make a lot of money, I believe that people are whining way too much about gaming becoming too expensive. It's like, as someone who's not into video games, I could easily, if I really set my mind to it, save up $1,000 and basically any game in existence that really matters. I could play 1080p 60 FPS. Honestly, I've looked at this Xbox that I got. I've had a 1080p monitor plugged in and then a 720p monitor right next to it. I would have it set to 1080p. I'd put in Monster Hunter World. I'd unplug and then swap between the monitors, and I'd stare at the screen, and it's set to 1080p. And it's like, for some reason, 1080p is such a small difference for video games. I don't understand why it is for me. But act like it's a big deal. If you're on a desktop and you're on apps and there's text, then it makes a difference. But for some reason, it just doesn't really. 1080p to 720p is not much difference. So I can be fine on 720p. I think it doesn't really start to make a difference until it's like 1440p for me. So anyway, I mean, for 1080p, 60 FPS, yeah, can handle all that. So anyway, but I would never buy a new PS5 anyway. I'd buy a used one, and of course, I'd buy with the discs if possible. The whole point about video games for PC being all digital now is, well, you have multiple storefronts, so you can get a better deal now. And depending on where you buy it, it can be DRM free. You can back it up the stuff pretty easily, unlike on a console where you can't back it up all that easily. So overall, from 11:15 to 11:45, I played on this smartphone. I ended up playing an emulated copy of Legend of Zelda, the Minish Cap for Game Boy Advance. And I ended up beating the first dungeon. I was at the start of the first dungeon. I ended up beating that first dungeon in 30 minutes. And then I went to bed shortly after that, took a lucky out again, went to bed shortly after that. And so today's the 4th of July. It's 2:17 p.m. That was 12 days, 12-day journal. And past few days, I've been eating a lot of sugar. I've been getting free treats from people. But what I should do is when they give me something, I should eat a little bit of it over the course of several days. Not eat an entire 45-gram of sugar cake slice in one day. I should chop it down, put it in the freezer, set it out until the servings. This is to prove that I can do it, prove that I can be more disciplined and stuff in life. So overall, and I do put more push-ups today because I hadn't done any since the 28th. Yeah, I hadn't done any. The 28th was the only day out of the past 12 days I did any push-ups. I did some on the 21st, did some on the 28th, and haven't done any since. So I did some on the 21st, the previous journal entry. Then I did some on the 28th for this journal entry. Yeah, so Oh, here's to hoping that I can. If I go to the store today, do not get any junk food. Just eat better. Um, and overall, I feel something I like about is despite all the stuff that I've looked up online, I have resisted the urge to watch any YouTube, I mean online video reviews where people review the recently the movie that recently came out, the Supergirl movie. I've heard it flopped. I've heard that's got a lot of negative publicity and bad press and whatnot. And it looked maybe like it could be kind of cute, but also looked like it could be kind of lame. And I've heard it flopped massively. I'm not one of those people like, oh, it flopped, so it must be bad. There's a lot of great movies. Here's the thing: it looked generic. It looks like the phrase "cape shit." People haven't used that phrase in a while. It's kind of 2018 core. Something like people would say in 2017 or 2018 or 2019, back when superhero movies were all big. Now that they're on the decline, people probably don't call it cape shit anymore. But yeah, it looks generic. You know, I was thinking about seeing it because it's about rescuing like a dog from being poisoned, a pet dog who looks pretty similar to Lucky. But it's but it's a different kind of dog. But then the actress Millie Alcock did the whole like if you don't like my movie, you're just some Twitter loser who has a blank profile picture and says that you are a Christian dad of four, which is kind of weird and like anti like natalist kind of creepy shit. And and like, oh, you're not qualified to criticize my movie. Then it's that made me not want to bother to see it. However, I'm not going to look up reviews for movies that like I don't intend on seeing anytime soon, so I can just project somebody having a funny opinion on it. Because I don't want to get into that too much. Like you can sometimes movie reviews are entertaining, like the ones that bash bad movies are entertaining, but it has to be within moderation. So overall, I am for the foreseeable future not going to watch any reviews for the Supergirl movie. I'm just gonna. It's probably not all that great of a movie. I might see it one day, like 6 months down the road, for free, and then I'll decide, what are the flaws of this movie, if whatever flaws there may be. Then I'll watch a review and see what the critical drinker thought of it, what Jeremy Johns and real life fake wizard thought of it, because I don't need to know their opinion about it right now, because they're not. I'm already convinced not to pay money to see the Craig Gillespie directed, James Gunn produced Supergirl movie. Just because I haven't heard anything good, about it. All right then. So that's the thing. Don't just watch every piece of geek content that you see on the internet if it's just not relevant to me. That way I can build and create stuff, myself. Have more time. All right then. Bye for now. And yeah, happy 250th anniversary, 4th of July. I'm gonna have to give this guy like a Benadryl today. It's gonna be more wild than usual. All right then. Bye. Yep. Hopefully I'll do something. Yeah. I go down to my 5 p.m. job tomorrow. So I have quite a bit of free time. So all right then. I'm gonna water the plants some more, and it looks like the stuff is growing. The cucumbers are growing. Those parts are growing at least. In a few more days, the green beans maybe should grow. Hopefully they'll grow somewhat. Even though I planted them later. All right then, bye. A happy 250th anniversary of the USA. All right then, bye now.